All right, and a good Sunday to you. Welcome to another edition of JD's Deep Cut Sunday Tracks. Hope you're all having a good end of the weekend. Nice day, cool out over here, these parts of the world. So, another good song we're going to talk about. You'll probably see the album a little bit more this time. I don't know if you can kind of see the name there. Um, but today we're going to talk about Zebra. Okay. Some of you might have heard this band, some of you might not. Great band. Didn't last too long on the scene, but when they came out, they did do some denting, like they say. They were a really good talented three piece from Louisiana. You wouldn't expect, right? They were considered a hard rock, a little bit progressive, even a little bit of delving into a little bit heavy metal style. I would consider them more of a hard rock style, prog a little bit. Another great three piece that sounds like a 10 piece. Okay, uh, multi instrumentalist, all three members. Randy Jackson, great guitar player. Played synthesizer, played piano, 12 string double neck guitar. Um, Felix Hanneman, also multi instrumentalist, and you could hear it on the album. Okay, the album we're going to talk about is their debut self titled album, Zebra. This album came out in 1983. Okay. Uh, I first got exposed to this band via this comp cassette I have. I've had this since about 1983. Zebra was one of the bands that was featured on this Masters of Metal. K-Tel Records released this. I still have the cassette. I love this because I got exposed to a lot of bands here. Triumph was another band that was on this compilation. But the song that they featured was Who's Behind the Door. Okay. That song, a lot of synthesizers, a lot of keyboard, great guitar work. The sound these guys got on the first album is like just amazing. Jack Douglas produced. Jack Douglas produced a lot of 70s, mainly Aerosmith. They did New York Dolls, Patti Smith. I mean, he did a lot. And he produced Zebra's first album. Okay. This album was, I think, it was ahead of its time when it came out uh, because the sound, the sound these guys got, with the recording and stuff. Producer, of course, has a lot to do with it. But again, three piece, very talented band. So who's behind the door? Okay. Name of the song, great intro. A lot of a little bit of effects there with the synthesizer. Um, that 12 string guitar sounds great. I think it's double neck. You can kind of hear that. But check that song out. It's on their debut album, Zebra. Who's Behind the Door? The whole album, I love the whole album. Okay. Um, there's another song on there. I'm trying to remember the name. Tell Me What You Want. That's another great song. But Who's Behind the Doors is a long piece. It's good. It has a great intro, mid, good vocals. Sounds great. Delving into a little bit of progressive. But yeah, I love those long intros. A lot of instrumentation there, and all talented musicians. Okay, this album came out in '83. The band came out, I believe, in the mid '70s. They did a lot of local bar circuit. Played a lot of covers, and I think I've read that they threw in original stuff. Some A&R person heard them and sounded great. Like I mentioned, they didn't last long. I think they have like four albums only. Um, they released this album, and their second album was okay, nothing like their first. Um, and then they had a hiatus. Didn't do much. Came back in the early 2000s, but it's kind of sad because they were such a talented band. Again, like I mentioned in previous episodes, some bands get the breaks. I don't know why Zebra didn't um, keep going. You know, they're very talented. Might have not gotten a lot of exposure, um, marketing maybe. They were on a big label, um, but they did leave an imprint. You know, like I said, it reminds me of those early '80s prog. You know, Triumphs, your Rushes, Zebra. You know, and again, if you get a chance to watch some videos, um, it sounds like there's 10 people up there. You know, it's three piece band. Sounds great. Okay. But yeah, the story behind this album, I've had this one a few years. I believe I got this at a garage sale. Great condition. The album sounds great. Sounds really good. This album. I think I paid like $5 or something. Guy Gelso, the drummer, really good drummer. Um, like I said, if you get a chance to listen, please do. I'll put the link of the song "Who's Behind the Door" on there so you can check it out. But a lot of these bands, like I mentioned, they were so ahead of their time. But I think they didn't get their due. You know, for some reason or another, breaks here and there. You know, didn't come along. But they did leave an imprint on the prog hard rock movement of the early '80s. That year, '83, from '82 to about '85, man, great hard rock metal music came out during that time. There's a lot of great bands out of that era. Got to check out. Not quite a '70s. Started in the '70s, but delving more into the early '80s. But yeah, those bands, you know, that came out during the time, you know, Ronnie James Dio was doing great stuff. Dio, you know, that was the band, doing great stuff with their first three albums, you know, Triumph, Zebra, you know, yeah, your Twisted Sisters coming out in there. Just metal was booming, you know, booming during that time. And a lot of these bands are the imprint, you know, of what was to come, you know. '84, you had the thrash metal movement come in, influenced by a lot of these bands. You had the new wave of British heavy metal, you know, Budgie, Holocaust, you know, all those bands were doing it. Motorhead, you know, and of course, Metallica was influenced by a lot of these bands. And you could hear the influence too by Zebra and Triumph. You can hear it in the music, you know. But this album is great from start to finish. But the two highlighted songs, well, "Who's Behind the Door" is the main one. But "Tell Me What You Want" is a good song, like I mentioned. Okay, so check it out. Check it out. Again, Zebra, "Who's Behind the Door" from their self-titled debut, 1983. Great album, worth a check. And again, I'll put the link there so you can check it out. All right. Well, you keep having a good one. Enjoy rest of your weekend there. All right, I'll see you on the next one.